hope you've all been keeping well and being your usual wonderful selves. I finally got a chance to give you an update on my feedback on the TMJ exercises that I've covered in my previous video. Before that, I'll go over the causes of TMJ, both the generic and my personal assumptions. I'll also share with you when my TMJ symptoms would normally be triggered. General causes of TMJ includes genetics, arthritis, injury to the jaw or any surrounding areas, mislocation or unusual movement of the disc or cushion that is meant to be in between the ball and socket of the joint. This might explain the grinding or the click sound. Grinding or clenching of your teeth. This adds extra pressure to the jaw area. Stress. When you're stressed, our jaw or facial muscles get tense and tighten. It could also lead to clenching of the teeth. For me, my probable cause of TMJ I would place heavily on genetics. My mum has worse TMJ symptoms than me, which is how I became aware of TMJ in the first place. I also clench my teeth when I sleep. How do I know this? Because sometimes when I wake up, my teeth or gum feel very tender. Even the dentist asked if I have a habit of clenching my teeth just because of the conditions of my gum. I'm also just making assumptions here, but I may have developed clenching teeth because I used to have severe eczema on my arms, and while I sleep I'd itch my arms and I feel like I would clench my teeth then. Another possible cause may be because I prefer sleeping on my side. Also, I heard that the top and bottom teeth shouldn't be touching each other like all the time. But since getting braces, I feel like my bottom and top teeth have always touched each other. When I was in my teens, my parents got me braces to fix my bite. Back then it was more natural for the top teeth to be slightly overlaying the bottom teeth, and also appearance-wise it would look better because my jaw was slightly out towards the front, just very slightly. Maybe that's why I developed TMJ, because of braces. Anyway, on a different note, now my bottom teeth are not straight anymore. They're getting a bit crooked. So it might pay to do a little bit more research before you decide to get braces. Before I go over my experience and feedback on doing the TMJ exercise, I'll go over when or what used to trigger my usual TMJ symptoms before I started doing the exercise. I used to experience TMJ mostly when washing my face in the morning. When my mouth would slightly be open, I felt like my jaw was slightly fixed, like stuck. Brushing my teeth in the morning, again when I open my mouth, sometimes I feel my jaw become stuck. One time I actually had to stop brushing my teeth until somehow my jaw got back round to being able to move again. This happened rarely, like only once or twice, and only for a few seconds, but it definitely freaked me out. Eating certain foods, such as hot food, especially hot temperatured noodles, and food that involves opening mouth a little bit wider. Finally, when yawning, again this involves my mouth opening wide. I'd experience a light grinding feeling or feel my jaw moving to the side slightly. It's interesting how it's mostly in the mornings that I experience a higher scale of discomfort. I still do experience symptoms during the evening, like as mentioned before, when brushing my teeth or eating hot food. But the level of discomfort is slightly lower, or much lower sometimes, that I hardly get any symptoms, or not enough to take much notice anyway. My assumption on this is that maybe during the day my jaw and muscles loosen up a little bit, get warmed up, which is why at night there's less symptoms, Compared to the morning when I've just woken up, I haven't really eased my muscle or jaw or warmed it up enough. That's why I've experienced more discomfort and these symptoms during the morning. It's been 2 weeks since I started the TMJ exercise that was introduced in my previous video. So far, the symptoms have improved as I can only recall experiencing the TMJ symptoms a few times, which were last week when I was eating chips or crisps like Doritos. I was being greedy and grabbed a handful of chips and tried to eat it all in one handful, and the chips were quite wide, so I had to open my mouth bigger, which triggered a slight discomfort. The other time was I noticed that after I applied lipstick or lip tint, I'd move my lips so that the makeup can be applied evenly, like this. I heard like a grinding or click sound on my left jaw. Also, over this period, while I was doing the exercise, there were still a few times when I felt slight discomfort while yawning. There may have been more instances where TMJ symptoms were triggered, but I didn't really take much notice, which is a good thing, as I feel like the number of counts of TMJ symptoms and the scale of symptoms have both gone down. If you recall from my previous video, it was recommended during the first week the number of times to perform the exercise each day was limited to 2 times each day, and only after the first week it was okay to do more sessions. I initially did hope and wanted to increase the number of sessions per day when I had completed my first week, but this didn't happen, as it was even a struggle to just get through my minimum twice a day. So if I am having an extra wonderful day, maybe then I'd add a few extra sessions. At the moment, I am happy and just surviving to complete my 2 sessions each day. Going forward, I do plan to continue with doing the current exercise for 1 more week, which will make a total of 3 weeks, and see if my jaw or muscles can be trained and whether the symptoms will subside further. One tip that I found useful is to make use of the alarm function or set up a timer and set up times in your calendar, either on your phone or on your smartwatch, or even just your normal calendar, to remind you to do the exercise. At first, it's annoying just the thought of you having to do the exercise, and I felt like it was so much effort that I had to put in. But once I get into the 5 minutes, the time goes pretty fast, and I could feel some strain on my jaw, so it must be doing something. I can definitely see this being part of my daily routine. Thank you for listening to me ramble. I hope you found something helpful and useful in this video. Please like and subscribe for more updates. Feel free to leave a comment down below on any questions or any tips or any experience that you've had with TMJ. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day.